Okay, quickly before this video begins, I would like to say I am sincerely sorry that this video is a little late. This video was going to come out on Monday, but you will find out why it's coming out today instead. You'll find it out later in the video. Okay, hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone. Welcome to the User of Rick's channel. Today, we are going over something that I have long been figuring out how to do, and that is creating doors. Yeah. And I didn't set up my controls. Yeah, so we will be creating a door. First off, let's create our models. Okay, so once you are in your block editor, for me, I am using Blockbench. I highly recommend using Blockbench as personally I find it the easiest to use to make block models. However, if you're making entity models, that's another matter entirely. Okay, so in Blockbench, to start off with a block or item, we're doing the block. You will want to pick the Java block/item. Don't choose the Bedrock model or the modded entity or the Optifine entity or the Optifine part or free model. Choose the Java block/item. You want to give it a name. So let's give this, since this is a door side 1. How we're going to do this is we are going to pretty much create 4 different models, of which we are going to make 8 different blocks out of. I believe it's 8. Maybe it's 16. No, it's 16. Because how we're going to be doing it is we are going to have each block for each side, like you place the block on, say, the north side, and that block needs a bottom half, it needs a top half, and it needs its open versions. So let us start creating those 4 models. But first, you need your textures. You should be able to create your own textures. This is not a texture creating tutorial, so I will not talk about that. But yeah, so for your model, you want to get a cube and get its size to be 16 tall, and then whatever direction you want it, and then the other direction will be 3 pixels wide. Okay, so let's start texturing this. We want it to all fit onto one texture. So let us start off with a bottom texture, and we will be changing the texture in Mcreator itself. You will probably want it to have a different rotation. Let's move it up. And just to let you know, I am using 32 by 32 textures. You do not have to. Many of you will probably be using 16 by 16 textures instead. 32 by 32 is just optional. So let's get that. We want this to be the other side. We need to get this to be mirrored so that the texture is for the door hinge side is on one side and it's same on the other side. Now let's do this. We want that to be that. We want to move it over just a bit. And there we are. Probably want to move this one over just a bit. Okay, so the top, you can have it be a transparent face. Actually, no, you don't want it to be a transparent face. We want it to have a texture. So we want it to be 3 wide. We want to rotate it. And there we are. We have our first of 4 models. Now, in Mcreator itself, we will be changing the texture to be a little different. So hold on while I get the properties. To delete that one. Okay, so make sure all of our textures are still there. Good. Okay, so for in the properties of your texture, you'll want to name this variable to whatever you want it to be, so you know what texture is what. If you are having multiple textures for your model, this will be very, very helpful. So, yeah, that would be the first model. Let's go ahead and export this first model as a block model. So doorside1.json, and let's put it on my desktop real quick. So we want to save that. And why is there a capital? There should not be any capitals at all, as capitals can mess up Minecraft a lot. Same with spaces. Okay. And if you hear any cat meows, that's because I have a kitten that is playful, roaming around the room. Okay, so let's do the next rotation. So in Blockbench, this is an easy transform, rotate clockwise. And we can export it immediately. This will be doorside 2. And again, I left the capital, so I'll have to change that. Okay, so I shall get the other 2 sides, and then we shall move on. Cat, stop walking on my keyboard. We shall start working on the actual procedures and block creation, as well as item creation. You will want to create a texture for the item. So, I shall do that real quick. Okay, so once you are in Mcreator, we will want to go over, well, in Mcreator and in your workspaces. I am going to be creating this door for my mod, the Traveler's Adventure 2. So, yeah. We will want to go to Resources and then 3D Models and Texture Mappings. We will want to import all 4 of our textures. Oh, sorry. We want to get our textures in first. So let's import those. I think I still need to rename them. Yes. Cinnamon. Door bottom. we are. Now we can import them. So we want to import textures, import block textures. For me, I go to my desktop. I click the cinnamon door bottom and top, and then I click open, and I should see them at the top. Except all of these are all randomized. I don't like this. Why are they randomized? They used to be in alphabetical order. So there's the door top. Where's the door bottom? There it is, right there. What we need to do now is the 3D models. So we can import a JSON model. That's in import door side 1. And the texture for default, let's put the default as the bottom texture. And then we need to create another version where it is the top texture. Okay, so that is the side 1. Then we do that for all 3 other sides. So let's do that real quick. Okay, and this is really annoying, but all of my things are not in alphabetical order. It's because I'm on a Mac and it is doing odd things. So I will really quick change that. I shall see you in a moment. Okay, it looks like I can't fix the order in which these are laid out. For some reason, Mcreator jumbled them up, and it's annoying, but I shall have to deal with it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is to create the starting elements. This would be the, like, for a normal door, the item you hold in your hand. I shall be showing you how to create that item, and I shall also have to create a texture for it, but I will show you how to create that. Unlike most other things, we will have to create a new mod element. Well, like other things, we'll be creating a new mod element, but this will be a block instead of an item, and you will see why once we get to the procedures. So, enter the name of the block. This will be the cinnamon, and I am spelling it wrong, cinnamon door. Create new block. So, the model, we want it to be door side 1. We want it to be door side 1. We don't want it to be top, though. We want it to be default. Okay, rotation. We will want rotation for this one. We want y-axis rotation, and then we want to add this. We don't get a glitch. We want it to be cut out. It has transparency. We won't bother with the bounding box for now. That will be done on the others. The other blocks that will create the actual door. This is just a first thing to get the starting rotation of the door, and then also the the starting rotation of the door. So yeah, this will also be just the face or the visual for the block, as this will be the only thing that has an actual GUI. Well, it's the only thing that will show up in the creative inventory, and therefore also the only thing that will show up in your survival inventory. Okay, so its name is cinnamon door. The hardness, we won't bother with any of that. We want it, if you have a custom inventory tab, I suggest using that. Pretty much you can set this to whatever you want. And yes, so all of that looks good. All of that looks good. We will be wanting to enable the tile entity for this one. We do not want it to have a slot count at all. We want this to be 0 as well. We do not want it to interact with any redstone whatsoever or drop any items from its inventory. Okay, next page. This is where it gets interesting. So we need to get when the block is placed. Here. Is there one for just the player? Block destroyed by explosion. When the player starts to destroy. Blocks on the block. Nope. Okay, that means we will be using when block placed by. We will be wanting to add some of that, but I will have to real quick, because I am on a Mac, open up a different procedure, because for some reason the inline procedures, all of these, just clicking the plus icons, doesn't work unless you've already opened the procedure editor. They say Mcreator says that it will be fixed in Mcreator 1.9.1. This is Mcreator 1.9.0. Okay, so now we can create this procedure, and for starters, we will want to create an NBT tag that says what direction or what side the block or the door is on. And because the model is on the north side of, or the default is on the north side, the door will always be on the side of the block closest to the player. So we will be able to figure out with some procedures what the direction is. So we will want to be able to get the direction that the entity is facing, or the player. Okay, it is in entities. In degrees, relative to south. That is the opposite of north. So let's get an if statement to start this off. We want an else if statement. We will want three else ifs and just one if. We need a logic comparator. And we want it to be an equal to or greater than, and then we will also want an equal to or less than. And we can copy this, put that in one side on each, and to put these together we need an AND block, so let's get that. And we have that. Now let's get some numbers. Fun numbers. Okay, so if the player is direction relative to S is how am I to do this for the north side of the block, or south? For this one, we'll have to have an extra bit of fun with everything, with an extra AND block. Let's put that on external inputs. We can put that back. Okay, so for the first section, we want it to go when the degrees is either equal to 0 or greater than 0, and we want it to be less than, let's say, because it's in degrees, so the next direction would be 90. So let's have it at 45 to be the cutoff point. So we will also want this to be over here, except the less than will be 0, and the greater than would be 160 minus 45. Why am I blanking on that? I have no idea. So 360 minus 45, I'm doing that on my calculator here. That would equal 315. So that is the first one. If we want it, since we have that, we can now create a, not block properties, block procedures. And we will want to set a, number tag. Yes, a number tag. And we will have set it to 0. The tag will be direction. Okay, so we have our first direction of 0. This will equal north. And let's really quickly just create all of the other directions. So there would be 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. You, of course, could have this as 1, 2, 3, and 4, or really any number that you want. I'm just going for this as it's a sequential order, and that helps quite a bit. Okay, for the next else if, we only need one and statement filled with the comparators, and we want this to be greater than or equal to 45 and less than or equal to 90 plus 45, which would be 135. And that will be our, so north, not north, it would be south, and it would move to then, I believe, east. I think it's east. We'll see. Okay, and then for the next one, we will want it to go from the minimum being 135 to the maximum being 100, and that doesn't make sense. We want it to be 180 plus 45. So it will be 225. There, that makes sense. Next, we will want the final direction to be 225 to the number we found earlier, which was 315, same one as at the very top. And that would be all of our directions set up. This should work, and we will be then creating a procedure once we have created the other blocks. We will be creating a procedure that will replace this block with the correct other block for that direction. Otherwise, it'll just be a bit of trouble. Okay, so we do not have to worry about spawning, and there we have the door created. Okay, so I would continue showing you the building process. As you saw in the previous clip, we created this procedure and this, just without the locked code symbol. So what happened, and this is the reason why I couldn't get this out on Monday, is my video recorder for the next little bit. It cut out and didn't record a single thing. So I will have to show you all of the different things that we did that you couldn't see in that first recording. So, going along with what I had done before, as you can see, we created 16 other blocks. And I believe I mentioned this, but the first door we created, that is just the item. That is just the stage setter, you could say. It sets up how the door will work in-game. And it chooses how which of the four sides or versions of the door the door will be. So for the open and closing of it all. So the first four here would be the closed bottom, closed top, and then open bottom, open top, and then again the closed bottom for the next rotation side, and then the closed top for that, and the open for the top and bottom. Then of course there's the other two sides as well. So the next little bit, once you have all of those for your opened and closed with the correct models that you want and all of that, you need to create 16 procedures. You could do this by going in and specifying right. We did create another bit for the starting door. This would be it. It's just, again, taking the NBT tags that we created for each of the four directions, 0 through 3, and then placing the correct bottom version of the door in that spot. So, yes. I realize now that I need to make a change in this, so this is good that I have to go through this again. We will be wanting to copy all of this, and let's see what... Okay, so this is door side 1 closed, so we need the top version of that closed. And this is just so that both the top and the bottom door spawn in, and it has nothing to do with anything else. So we need a math adding to the Y just so that the top of the door spawns on top of the bottom of the door, instead of the bottom of the door spawning in at that spot and then the top of the door spawning in at that same spot. So let us go back to math and get a number and 1. So Y plus 1 is where the top of the door should be placed. And let's see. So this is what version of the door? Cinnamon door side 4 closed. So with the top version, we want it to be this door side 4 closed. I believe this is this one. Yes. And then we need, again, for this one, this should be 3. Yes, this is 3. And top closed. And then let's get the last one, which will be 2, I believe. Yes, cinnamon door side 2 closed. So as you can see, there was a little bit of changing up in numbers for the models and then numbers for the actual directions that I had to do just to make it simple. So if you go along with what I had done before and then create this, the direction 1 will want to be the model 4, and then the direction 3 will want to be model 2, and then direction 2 you want to be model 3, and of course direction 0 will be model 1. Okay, and then we can save that. Make sure to put that in the cinnamon door before you lock the code. It should be on the update tick. You can see in the name I made this in the inline editor, meaning I hit the green plus icon in the block elements to create this. So, moving on to back to what I was talking about before with the 16 different procedures for each of these doors. You could alternatively, instead of just having what I have here, which is it placing the I believe this is for the closed side, so it will be placing the opened versions for each. You could alternatively also add a logic and loops, an if and else if, to cut the amount of procedures down in half to 8. You can do that, and then you will want to change this instead of to open on the bottom to the closed versions. Actually, no, you want them to be the open versions. I shall show you in a moment. Actually, I'll be showing you right now. So pretty much this is for opening the door, and if you click the bottom block, you will want it to be placing the bottom open version at X, Y, and Z, and then the top open version at X, Y plus 1 and Z. And then you will want, if you click the top of the door, you will want the top to be placed at X, Y, and Z, and then the bottom of the door to be placed at X, Y minus 1 and Z. So to make it clickable for depending on which block, you need to get some logic operators for the block, figuring out what type of block it is. You'll need 2 of them. And we need to go up to block procedures and get block at X, Y, Z. And then we need a bit of here. So this would be if you click the top version of the door. This is the closed side. For me, it's version 1. You'll want to be doing this for each and every set of top and bottom doors. So this will be the closed top. If you click the closed top, it will do this bit of procedure down here. Now if we copy that and move it up here, we can change this to the bottom, and there we have that. You could alternatively add some else ifs to even further lessen the amount of procedures you're having to do, and then we can copy this down here, and we can do the closing of the door. So let me copy these here. So pretty much you can copy from directly from in here, because these are the open versions. If it is the open top version, we want it to do something, and then the open bottom version, we want it to do something else. So let's get these procedures in and into place, and I am doing this real quick. If you don't know how I'm copying so easily, I'm just using I'm on a Mac, so it's Command C and Command V to copy and paste. You can also, if you're on Windows, I believe it's Control C and Control V to copy and paste. And then I just click on the procedure blocks and then delete so that I can change the what happens. Okay, so now we need 2 of these. And so for the bottom of the door, we want that there. Bottom of the door, we want that there. We want the top of the door there, and the top of the door there. Just to make sure that it is the closed top and bottom. Yes. 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 Okay, so, and these are the open versions. So if it is the open version of the bottom, it will be placing the closed versions. If it is the open top version, it will be placing the closed versions, and vice versa for the closed versions placing the open versions. You can save that, and I believe these 4 were the others for what we just did. Yes, that would be correct. So I'm going to really quickly delete those because we do not need them. Please delete for me. Thank you. Okay, so now all we need to do is to go in and make sure that the procedure we just created is on all 4 of that block or door side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it is on. Saving the changes. 1, 2, ignore errors. 3, 4. And then on block right clicked, we want to go to the bottom and find the procedure we just created. Save the changes. Go to the next version. And on block right clicked, click that, save changes, and yes. So that would be the first version of the door. Let me really quickly reset the console. Okay, it's doing that. Okay, you don't have to do that unless you delete something, and there's the error symbol for the red triangle up in the corners. I just do that because I don't like looking at red triangles all the time. So yes, let's do the next set of 4 for the next door side. This should be door side 2. Yes, it is. So let's take our cinnamon door side procedure for the opening and closing, and let's duplicate that. And let's name it cinnamon door side 2. Side 2 right clicked. And let's go into that, and all we have to do is just change all of the different blocks, or the procedure blocks corresponding to each of the different things. And these should be the 4 different. So there's the open top, open bottom, closed top, and closed bottom. So let's change the closed ones first. That would be door side 2 closed. And then for this, that will be the door side top closed for the second version. And then here, the open versions. So that'll be the top open, and then the open, the bottom open. So these are the 4 things you need if you want to be able to distinguish between the 4 sides of your elements, you will want to go in and make sure you have a different image for this right here. Otherwise, you will be like me and have to be looking at the names of everything all the time. So let's go back to our procedure. And let's put that there and there. And then the open bottom goes there and there. And the closed bottom goes there and there. And then the closed top goes there and there. So that is the next orientation done. You can save it and then again go into each of the four versions for that block in here. So I'll do that for the bottom real quick, and then I shall cut to after I have done it for the rest of the doors. It's pretty simple. You can do all of them on your own. So let's go to the procedures and then on block right clicked. Again, we go to the bottom and we see our procedure that we just created, and we click that, we hit save changes, we go through the other three, we put that procedure in there as well, and then you duplicate this for the next version, you do that same thing again, and then for the next version, same thing again, and then you should be done and ready to go. For after that, when we come back, I will be showing you how to make the item block show up as the item for that doors usually have. You know how it's shaped like a normal item, like a stick or a sword, rather than an actual block like grass or dirt. And I will be showing you that with a little bit of code work. It's not much. You're literally just changing one or two words. So let's go into... No, we are not going into. I am going to see you after this short cut. Okay, now that you have created all four procedures for the opening and closing of the doors, let's spruce up our block or item block, the starting thing that sets up all of the other positions. So let's as you can see, I have unlocked the code. I shall be showing you how to do all of the necessary things to make it actually show up just like any other door. So let's go up here, lock the code. Don't worry, we're not doing too much in the code. Let's open up the item model. It will be the cinnamon door.json or whatever your door name is, and then door if you've named it that way. And then you will see the item right down here after the models /item then again the something.json. You'll want to click on that and it will bring you to this. Let's go back to the workspace. To be able to get a template for your thing, you can go to any of the default items and you can just go ahead and click the edit code, and then again its item model, and then you can click edit without locking, because all we're doing is coming in here, selecting everything, copying it. That would be Command C on a Mac and Control C on Windows. And then you can just X out of that, go back to your .json for your item model for your door. And let's again select everything, and paste it in. Now again, that would be Command V on a Mac and Control V on Windows. Now, we want to save this. That would be Control S on either Mac or Windows. That's just how Mcreator is set up at the moment. And we will need to go get the item texture name for the door that you have created. If you haven't created it, you can create one by going to the resources, create new texture, and clicking on create texture from template, or you can choose from scratch. It doesn't really matter which. So I have one right down here. It's just a simple sample texture, and let's see what it is called. Okay, so we will have to go into the actual folder where the item is stored. If you are just creating it, whatever you type in for the name of the texture, make sure to remember that, as that is what we are trying to find. For me, I have to go into my documents, and this is where I have all of my workspaces stored, and then into my workspace for this mod, textures, items, and we should be able to find it right there. And it would be cinnamon_door. So let's remember that as we go over here, and we want to select anything after the items /, not including the quotation mark. We want to delete it, and we want to replace it with the name of the texture of your item. So for me, that would be cinnamon _door. Again, that would be Control S to save it on either Windows or Mac. And that is the little bit of code that we need to do. And it should show up in game. And just for all of your references, all of these 16 doors down here, you do not want them to show up in a Creative tab entry unless you want the Creative tab to have it. You also want them to be dropping the item version of everything. So the cinnamon door, the first block that we created, you want them all to be dropping that. I forgot to mention that before. And you can set any other settings you want, and it will be fine. Okay, so the next thing that most people want to do is creating a recipe. So we can go into the adding an element. We can click R to get the quick recipe. So let's name this, so that for me that would be cinnamon door, and I like to put at the very beginning of all of my recipes the word recipe, and that just lets me know if it's a recipe or not, and it also does not hinder the rest of my naming for any of my blocks or items. So creating new recipe, we do not want it to be shapeless. For me, I'm going to be using my custom tree wood. So let's create this real quick. You can obviously use whatever recipe you want. I am going to be using the vanilla one. So let's go all the way over to the cinnamon door, and we want it to be doing 3, as that is the default for normal Minecraft. And we can save the mod element, and there we have it. We have a way of getting our door in survival. And since all of these only drop the first block item that we created, it will work every single time. Okay, so I just realized another thing we will want to do is to make sure that if when the block is destroyed, it also destroys either the top or the bottom version. Okay, so instead of doing when a block is destroyed, we will be using an update tick method. So let's create a procedure for that. And we'll be creating just one big procedure for all of our blocks, just to keep it simple. So you need to go to logic and loops, get an else if statement, and we want to make sure we have 16 or 15 else ifs and one if. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, this is a super long procedure. Well, not super long. I have created longer ones before. And we want to check what block it is at the current X, Y, and Z. And we want to also check for the block right below. So let's do that. And we want to get block at XYZ for the first one. Let's extend this window in both directions. Let's copy this, and we need to get a Y plus 1, so we need to go to math, get the addition block, put that in. We want to get a number and change it to 1 instead of 0. We want to put that in. And then we need to go to Minecraft components, get the block components, and we need door side 1 closed. And then for the top, we need that to be the door open, not open, we want it to be the we want it to be the closed top version. We can copy this, and let's create the close or checking from bottom to top for all of them. So let's do the open next. And we can do this real quick. I shall see you after I've created all 8, I believe. I believe it's 8. Yeah. Okay, so once you have all 8 versions, you can put them onto the else if thing. Make sure to put them every other so that we are able to put the opposite versions in. I shall show you what I mean by that after we have put all of these in. Okay, let's do that right now. Let's copy the first one. All we have to do is switch out the top and the bottom and change the plus to a subtraction. We don't want to copy that. We want to place it in. Okay, and we will do that for each and every one of the versions. So I just realized that I should be telling you guys why we are doing this. The reason why we are doing this is to make sure that the bottom or top, depending on what it is, which side of the block you're talking, is not air. If it is air, we want to delete the block because we don't want the player to get any extra blocks from this. You can obviously create your own whatever you want so you don't have to do this. But yeah, anyway, the next thing we want to do, I just realized, since we want to add in a not block to each and every single one. So let's create 15 of these. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's use the 15th right there. And let's put each not block. Oh, I just realized something. We need it to be after the first and, not after everything. So I'll change that real quick, just so that when you do it, you don't have to see it after the fact, after you've done everything. So I shall see you again after I've done all of these. Okay, so once you have done all of that, pretty much it's checking. So if the block is the bottom version and the top version is not there, then we will want to go to block procedures and place. We want to place air. We want to place air. And then if the block at XYZ is the top version and the bottom version is not there, we will want to place air. And you can do this for each and every one. Again, this isn't a super complicated procedure. It's just really long. And after you have done each and added this procedure to each and every single one of your blocks for your door, you can go ahead and check it out in game, as it should be working. Now that I have a new computer that I am able to record upon, I can actually show you guys the things that I am telling you to create, or showing you how to create. So I shall see you after I have put in all of the different, put this procedure into all of the different blocks. So I'll be putting that into all 16 of the blocks, and then I shall see you in game. Okay, here we are in game, and we have custom doors. They look fine at first until you look at the block model. Uh-oh. Looks like I did some of my calculations wrong. This happens quite frequently to most coders. It's just what happens within when you're making a mod and you're doing some of the more complicated things. It happens to everyone, even the best of us. So let us figure out what's going on. So what I am seeing here is that this is on the opposite side from us. That is not what we should have. This is also on the opposite side from us. We need to reverse the east and west. If you don't know how to figure out which way you're looking, you can go up to the top left of your screen. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the first word in that line, and the 10th line, should be facing. Then the next word should be the direction. So for me, it's west right now. Now it's south, east, and north. So the north and south are fine. We're not worrying about the models yet. We're trying to get the actual bounding box correct. We will fix the models in a moment. So it looks like I need to switch up the east and west. This should be a simple, let's go back to Mcreator, into our workspace. This should be simple, and we can go into this right here, and all we have to do is switch up these two things right here. Let's save that mod element. Let's quit to title. If you are wondering why I have a custom texture pack on, that's just because my mod automatically overrides all of the textures in Minecraft on its own. There's no need for a resource pack. In fact, if I go to options, resource packs, all I have is the default. So if you want a video on how that works, leave a like and post a comment saying you want that in the description. So let's quit the game and then go ahead and restart it to get the update, and we should find that the bounding box, the thin black line, should be on the correct sides now. Okay, here we are in game. It's time to figure out if anything has changed. So let's delete everything just to let it reset. And if you're wondering, I have other bugs in my mod at the moment as well, such as custom animations gone wrong. Turns out yeah, I still have to figure that one out. But we have, oh boy. Okay, we are back again. Let's see if there is anything wrong this time. And there is still one thing wrong with the open versions. Okay. Looks like the open versions need the opposites. Block 3 bounding box, which would make sense. Because, I mean, they work. It's just their 3D model is on the wrong side. So, I am going to go switch that up. Actually, I'm going to show you what I mean by switching the bounding box. So, actually, it's not the closed version. Let's open all of the open versions. Okay, so to switch around the different things, we need to switch up the Z chord or the X chord on them. So those two need to be switched over to the minimum. So we need 0.812 on their min Z chord. 0.182, or is it 812? 812 sounds more correct. Yeah, it was 812. And then this needs to be moved to 1. And we can save that and move on to our next one. So pretty much all you need to do is swap the max and the min chord, making sure to get the opposite number. So the opposite of the 0.188 would be 0.812. So you need to do all of that for those. I am sorry that there are so many different changes that you have to do now, but this is a this is a kind of like a tutorial. This is more figuring out this whole process. I pretty much knew how to do everything. Actually, I do know how to do everything. It's just for some reason the models and whatnot are not lining up. So I shall see you in Minecraft after I have finished swapping out all of these, and it should be correct. Okay, so we are in game, and as you can see, the models and the hitbox are aligned. The doors open and close. If I destroy the top, the bottom goes away. If I destroy the bottom, the top goes away. They open and shut. And again, the tops go away. I have the item block in my hand, and that places down the correct one. And they again open and shut and get destroyed. And yeah, they are working, and it is all good. The crabs just look so weird. So I hope you have enjoyed this video for custom doors. It has been a pleasure showing you how to create them, and obviously finding some bugs in the end and fixing them. So if you have found this helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Next time I will make sure it works before I show you how to create it, as in making sure the models and whatnot will be correct. So I will see you next time. This has been the User of Bricks.